Hi there, I'm John of John's Carnivorous Plants. This is my indoor nursery, and today we are going to tackle what are the best mediums for germinating seeds. So, pretty much same thing as normal carnivorous plants. So, I've shown in another video that I use these little, 2 ounce to 4 ounce cups that you can, generally speaking, find at different grocery stores or online on Amazon pretty cheap. This one right here is one that I use for cloning pings. So it's got perlite and sand in it. This is a fairly neutral medium, and it definitely will work. You'll notice that there's going to be a lot less fungus and algae issues with it compared to other ones. But generally speaking, it's not going to be the best for most of your carnivorous plants. Instead, just the regular peat perlite would be, because of having that slight acidity. It definitely helps out with both the germination, because the acidity helps the water penetrate into the seed coat, allowing the plant to develop a little bit quicker. And also, you're more than likely going to be putting most of the carnivorous plants into a peat mix, so might as well start it off in the mix that's going to work well. There's also long fiber sphagnum moss, which for once I actually got a bale sitting right next to me, which you can chop this up very finely. People will use scissors, or I've seen people even use like coffee grinders to make it very fine, because it's very easy for seeds to fall into the crevices between the moss strands if it's not finely chopped and whatnot, and they get more buried, and it becomes much more difficult to see if it's germinating or not. Now, the carnivorous plants will typically prefer one medium over another. And what I've noticed is that Pinguicula prefer sand mixes whenever they're germinating. Sundews and Venus flytrap, Sarracenia, Darlingtonia. I'm trying to think of any other ones that come off the top of my head. Dewy pines, a couple other ones will prefer a more peat mix, because I've done several different trials with them where I'll use sand, because I'll have these sand cups just sitting around, or just I've done I think I did for there was an old Triantha video I did where I showed off doing Triantha, where generally speaking, whenever I first get a species in seed, I'll sow a couple of them in different mediums just to see which one has the highest germination success. And for example, Triantha, yeah, another good case in point. The ones that I sowed in peat perlite didn't do as good as the ones that I sowed in sand and perlite. It was a noticeable night and day difference, literally much higher germination rates. Then Helianthera and Nepenthes, typically speaking, people will use finely chopped long fiber sphagnum moss to germinate them. And it's typically because long fiber sphagnum moss, whenever it's chopped up, or even just normally, tends to be like an antifungal and antibacterial mix, which back in the day, prior to modern bandaging and medical equipment, during the Civil War, they used to use sphagnum moss, like actual long fiber sphagnum moss, as a packing material for wounds and stuff, generally speaking, because it was something that would help stave off infections. Now, its effectiveness nowhere near as good as antibiotics and other medical equipment today, but still the anecdotal evidence of our previous use still stands. You'll see in bonsai and a lot of other horticultural areas, people will use long fiber sphagnum moss as a way to nurse back plants that have root issues or root diseases. So it definitely imparts a bit of a little bit more of a sterile environment, in the sense, in preventing the bad stuff from growing and keeping the good stuff going for these plants. It definitely produces, it holds a lot more water. It's able to keep humidity up in a small little space better. Just a lot of little benefits. And yeah, all of these mediums do really well if you sterilize them. So you can go ahead and bake them, etc., before use, which I highly suggest. That's definitely a good way of preventing molds and other things. Now, spores in the air are typically going to be the problem with fungal infections with your plants, and you'll run into various different fungus attacking, or molds attacking your seeds. You could just take a spray bottle, spray them down. And generally speaking, that's how in nature most fungal infections are put in check, is the, rain action actively disturbing the hyphea. Now, in cultivation, you're going to have to do that yourself. So I hope that little tidbit right there helps you. If you see anything fuzzy growing on seeds that you sow, doesn't matter what kind of mixture you're using, just go ahead and spray them down. There's also fungicides and all kinds of other things that you can use, but I don't really suggest them because in my experience, it hasn't necessarily been necessary. Thank you so much for watching. That's pretty much all I got to say on the topic. Just peat perlite, sand perlite, and long fiber sphagnum moss. Those are the three main ones that I use personally. So hope that helps you out. Catch you on the next video. Please check out the links in the description. One of them goes to the Carnivorous Plant Discord. One goes to my website. Also, please like and subscribe. The algorithm likes that. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.